Today we're at Fastems. We're joined by Mikko, Heikki and Ari, who are experts in automation, robot loading, pallet loading, software. Got a little bit of experience. How long have you been in the business, or how long has Fastems been going?
Well, Fastems has been going for 120 years, and out of that 40 years we have been working with automation.
Right, so a little bit of experience. So what I want to do, I'm going to put some questions to you today. First and foremost, where do you see CNC manufacturing industry going? Over to you.
Thanks. So maybe we could discuss a couple of trends that we see developing in the arena, and maybe the first one we could discuss is the increasing complexity in the manufacturing. So we know that the number of produced variants is increasing when there's a kind of mass customization is increasing in the manufacturing, and at the same time the lifetimes of products are getting shorter and shorter, and all of that is leading towards more of a kind of a high mix types of manufacturing environments with increased complexity.
Yeah, that is true. So lower volumes playing also a role in this equation, and in the end, so we are seeing more and more requests coming from our customers also with the batch size one manufacturing. So and how to enable that with an automatic process.
So that's key with what you guys do at Fastems. So it's batch size one. So people think automation, robots. I'm doing 500 off, 1,000 off, 10,000 off. Batch size one.
Batch size one is our key target, and so we can say that not anymore the argument that I do not have the batches for it, so it doesn't count.
But when you say complexities, do you mean I'm doing a component with 2 or 3 operations, mill turned, or what do you mean by that in terms of complexity?
So when we talk about the manufactured parts, so the trend there is clearly that the complexity or let's say the manufacturing process is also becoming more complex when it comes to the parts. They have more features, but then at the same time we are seeing that there's more of this kind of done in one philosophy. So manufacturers are working to have kind of a multi function machinery that is able to mill and turn and so on, so that the workpiece doesn't need that many setups in the meantime.
And how can your systems build into that? Because is it simple to go from one process to another process, or you'll build the whole system?
Yeah, definitely. So we build the whole system, and naturally it starts with the understanding of the or the availability of the right production data, and when that is available, so we can plan definitely so on which machines the work needs to be done, with what resources, for example, what tools are needed, what NC programs are needed, what fixturing is needed, and that makes this batch size one as a goal realizable.
That will come into what we're going to discuss later in terms of sort of the digitalization and collecting that data as well. But key at the moment, I think, in this environment, 2 really main things: shortages in labour, and also the material prices are going through. I mean, I quoted something this morning, and this afternoon the price has already gone up. So how does that affect you guys? How can you help engineers out there?
Well, if we talk about the shortages of labour, in the first place, I would say that it's our role is to make sure that manufacturing is attractive as a arena to work. So you know, you often hear this kind of discussion that automation is, for example, reducing jobs, and how we see in practice is that all the manufacturers are holding on to their people to their best ability, because there's a continuous shortage of people, and from that perspective, automation is in the future helping manufacturers to create more attractive, more safer jobs, more interesting jobs, because kind of the dull and repetitive work is being replaced.
In very simple terms, I don't want to be loading a billet all day, and you're saving people from doing that job.
Exactly.
Yeah, and if I may continue from that one, that the automation bringing the adaptability and flexibility into your work, and you know, the individual performance, you know, and the commitment for the work and more meaningful work, you know, that's the key thing, and that's what the Industry 5.0 is all about.
Okay, so engaging your staff and getting them, they want to come to work, and okay, What about material prices? How's that affecting you guys, and what are you doing to help with that?
So, of course, for manufacturers, then when the material prices are going up, it's really vital that no resources are wasted. That all the parts that are manufactured are then manufactured to need, and that's our kind of manufacturing philosophy to begin with. That we try to make sure that production is automatically planned and scheduled and run in a way that the right part is manufactured at the right time all the time, and the same. This really helps also in the future with our customers who more and more increasingly have sustainability as one of the key business targets. So it means that with this philosophy, it's possible to save in resources, and it's possibility to save. Save also the efforts needed.
Okay.
And one angle to that is naturally also to take most out of the resources which you're already having.
Right.
So in order to make the scarcity of resources a bit not that impactful in
so
this
automation
equation.
Is going to be environmentally friendly, is what you're alluding to in the long term.
Yeah, definitely so. Definitely so.
Okay, so from that you're looking at making just-in-time components rather than having a big stock and tying up that resource, but also your systems. If I'm going an automation system, I have to buy a new machine tool. Well, that's not the case with you guys. I can use legacy machine tools and systems.
Yeah, definitely. As we already mentioned, that we want to take most of it out of the resources which are existing. So existing machine tool automation is a theme for us.
Because I think you have systems out there 40 years old and still going strong.
Yeah, and to those systems, we have naturally done also to our side a couple of retrofits during the life cycle, but also the machines have been replaced.
Right.
And we are committed to making sure that our customers can run the systems throughout the lifetime of the systems and the machine tools. With that philosophy, increasingly it becomes also technically feasible and economically feasible to automate the machine tools and processes that are already existing. So that's something that we are increasingly seeing as a trend our customers been looking into.
Okay, gentlemen, moving on, Fastems, where do you see the future of CNC automation?
So we see a couple of trends there. If we start on the kind of the cell system level, so one clear trend is that there's a kind of increasing level of automation, especially with robotics. So more and more processes can be integrated into one automation system solution, so that kind of the part can be manufactured in one go. And that is of course very helpful for the productivity for the customers.
Okay, when you say one go there, as a bit in the big picture in very simplistic terms, the billets arrive in one end and your whole automation system will go through absolutely everything, robots and let me get this correct, your AMRs, your AGVs, taking those from one machine to the next machine throughout the whole process, and then you've got a finished component.
Right. So I mean that's we can do it on the cell or the system level, but then in the future there's also really the vision that more and more of the processes will be integrated on the factory level, so that we can have also automated intralogistics based with AGVs or automated guided vehicles or AMRs, mobile robots. So that they handle the intralogistics, but at the same time you also need intelligent software to be able to coordinate all this. Otherwise, it's going to be ending up in a mess.
Okay, so very intelligent software, but it's not just about the machine tools and the material itself. What about things like tooling, for example?
Yeah, obviously, tooling, tool management, tool automation. That's a big topic at the moment. You know, the tool being so expensive, you know, there are so many tools in the factories, and you need to make sure that you have your tools available at the right time, at the right place. Similarly as the FMS systems do what we deliver to our customers.
And is it intelligent enough, say you've got 4 or 5 different processes, 4 or 5 different components being manufactured, it'll work out the best way to use that certain piece of tooling around the machine shop?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we actually do is that we we help our customers to take control of all the key resources in your manufacturing. So NC programs, tools, fixtures, and all these, so that you know where those are.
Yeah.
And when you have your part manufacturing recipe, you know exactly which resources you need to do, to prepare this part. And then when you're manufacturing these parts in different machine tools, for example, our system can automatically bring the right tool to the right machine at the right time with the right NC program. So that's all about the.
So what we like to highlight really in these situations is that you need to take care of both the physical movement of the things in the factory. In this case, the tools. So you can automate the handling of the tools, but then you also need to manage the information around the tools so that the right tools go to the right place at the right time. So you also need to automate and manage the information flows around the tools, not just the physical handling of them.
Some extremely powerful software is required, which is what you guys provide.
Exactly.
Nice and simple. Okay. What about things like flexible turning automation, things like that? Is that something you...
Yeah, it is definitely a theme for us today.
Yeah.
So as we know, Fastems has been doing past 4 decades of pallet handling and milling machine automation.
Yeah.
So now we are advancing also towards turning machine automation. And what makes that possible is the advanced robotics technology combined with fixture technologies which have been developing so that the fixture management can be also automated, and naturally that combined with the intelligent software. So that's the package which enables that.
Okay. But with the fixturing, I'm thinking more milling as opposed to turning now.
Yeah. So turning, we're talking about chucks and chuck jaws,
Right.
and those to be interchangeable to the machines automatically with a robot arm.
Right, so the robot arms will actually changing those chucks, and
Exactly so.
and the software will be controlling all that
They're
as well.
doing actually the job what the operator used to do, so that all can be automated.
Can they set them and replace them and position them as quick as or faster than an operator?
Most probably not, but you can do it also during the night when the operators are not available.
Okay.
So
I think that's what we tend to find. Maybe cycle times or the way they're processed might be a little bit slower, but you're not just doing an 8-hour shift, you're doing 3 8-hour shifts or 24/7.
So it is, and you're doing all the time the things what you need to be doing in order to keep your production schedules.
Absolutely. So can I quote a number of 8760?
That's it.
That's it, absolutely. But moving on, the next section I want to cover off is, and as one of your colleagues, Lee Tricklebank, who you probably know in the UK, data is a new oil. So moving forward, it's about, we hear a lot about Industry 4.0, digitalization. Is that key to what you guys do? Is it key to successful engineers going forward?
I might take this one.
No,
So
absolutely.
as Mikko alluded, the information flows, the data, that's the key here. And what we see, as a trend or very important thing happening is being able to collect the data from the shop floor, but also from your business systems, and bringing all this data together, and then apply, the important data models, information models for the manufacturing industry here. So the kind of a traditional business intelligence turning now into a manufacturing intelligence. Many of the new technologies now enabling this one.
But you've got all this information coming in. So I'm an engineer running a machine shop, maybe with 10 engineers, 20 machines. I've got lots of data. Have you got any examples of how it's going to benefit me, what I can do with that, or what you will do with that?
Well, one thing to realize, first of all, is that we have been in the digitalization business long before the word was invented. So we have always been utilizing software to optimize manufacturers' manufacturing processes and making sure that the production can run longer continuous periods with increased flexibility. Now, with increased amount of data, it's possible to know the state of the production more precisely and in a more real-time manner. And this, of course, then helps us to use the same kinds of optimization tools we have been using already up to now, but do it to a higher level of real-time awareness and also kind of across broader processes and even factory-wide. So the increased availability of data, the increased ability to integrate the data, and then also the new machine learning, artificial intelligence capabilities that we are bringing into our software will benefit our customers. So our philosophy is that our customers should not have to kind of learn AI and machine learning. We are embedding and building these capabilities into our already existing software solutions for our customers' benefit.
Okay. When you say about AI solutions and things like that, do you have an example we could share with people watching as to how someone has benefited from that and what it's actually done?
So the AI, machine learning, process mining. So obviously, first step is to analyze your existing data. Find bottlenecks in the production. How the bottlenecks travel in certain situations, certain products, for example, in the production. And the next step is then obviously from the data that you have gathered in the current situation to build scenarios. What would be the most optimal way of producing, for example, certain parts. So to develop and optimize your production.
Okay. We'll think about that though, and digitalisation. There's a lot of data and there's a lot of machine tools on the shop floor, for example. It's a lot of information. Do I need to store that here or does it go to the cloud? And is it secure? Because some companies we're not comfortable with going out to the cloud. So how would you deal with that? Is it a benefit? Can it be secure?
I might take this one as well. So as we see, most of the business applications, many of the shop floor applications increasingly going into the cloud. Yeah, definitely still many of the solutions implemented on premise, but I would say that more than half of the new installations in the MES, APS, ERP categories, they're cloud-based solutions. And definitely the cloud is bringing you a lot of benefits. It's a cost benefit for the customer, so much easier to upgrade, maintain, and you don't have to reserve all that capacity that you might need in the future, but it's available for you in the cloud. And it also means faster deployment, faster development for actors like us. And then also, the clouds are now built to be secure. So the main cloud vendors, they make the cloud secure, and they also provide industry focused clouds, meeting the standards for certain industries.
So to build on that, we also recognize that in the future it will be a kind of a continuum from cloud to edge. So there will always be some edge computing capabilities close to the customers, and it's important to build the solutions in a way that these can seamlessly also kind of integrate between each other. Yeah. So there's no kind of one solution, but it also needs to be thought what is the best use case for each customer.
Okay. Heikki, grab the microphone there. Anything else to add on that, on the digitalisation?
Yeah, in a way, so if we try to put it in a simple words, so what we do, what our role is in a way convert data which is available from manufacturing to information to guarantee better decisions for our customers, and enabling them to do the right things at the right time all the time.
So to improve their processes, make them more efficient, more profitable, which is what engineers really want to be, is much more profitable. So just in summary then, so the future of CNC automation with you guys, door to door, I just find that it blows my mind. You've got to bill it here, you end up with a component going out there and no one has to touch it. It's as simple as that?
It can be a lights out manufacturing. That's the kind of the vision, the dream. We know it's not always something that you can do just by clicking your fingers, but it's a kind of a journey. So it's if that's the vision you buy into and you start building it step by step, with us you can do it with agility and eventually get there.
And engage with you guys, because you've obviously got, you've been here for 120 years, not you personally obviously, 120 years, but you've been doing this for 40 years, and the way forward now, digitalisation. That's the key, I think, isn't it? Gentlemen, thank you very much for having me along. It's been really, really insightful, and I hope you enjoyed finding out more about Fastems, 40 years of automation and driving the industry forward with automation.